Nini. Hello and welcome to the Kemetic How-To Guide for Egyptian Pagan and Kemetic practitioners. I'm your host Sharon and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about King Tut's other game. Because if you're a fan of Egyptian history, then you probably know about the game Senet, and we did a Let's Play last year with our lovely friend Morgan. And just to recap very briefly, this is the board. And, there are many modern reproductions of Senet boards that are available on eBay, Amazon, and so forth, in museum gift shops and the like. But what's interesting is several of Tut's game boards actually were reversible, and there was a different game that was played on the other side. And it only had 20 squares, as opposed to the 30 that are in a Senet board. And the game that we're going to play today is sometimes called the game of 20 squares. This comes from the name used in a modern survival of that game, but its origins trace all the way back to ancient Sumer. Reproductions of this game are a lot harder to find, but we did get one on Amazon. It was put out by Wii Games, and we'll do an unboxing for this on camera with our game expert Morgan. But first, let me give you a little bit of backstory on it. As I mentioned, it comes from ancient Sumer and came with trade and contact with other parts of the ancient Near East. And by the New Kingdom in Egypt, you had people who were very cosmopolitan, you might imagine, and they, had adopted some of these new innovations from other parts of the Middle East. As we'll talk about when we open up the game board and start playing, one of the reasons why it probably got adopted very quickly by the Egyptians was because you had a lot of things that could be carried over, such as the use of Senet sticks and two different shapes of game pieces. They're not the same as what you have in the game of Ur, what they call it in the reproduction we have, but they adapted very seamlessly, and we'll show you in the Let's Play that we do. It's not as well known today as Senet is. There are not as many versions of it online. You can play it for free online if you go to this link, but you can also look for the reproduction by Wii Games. And there's also a video that the British Museum put out, and you have the gentleman who translated a set of rules for the game that were written about 200 years BCE, and he explains to another much younger person how to play the game, and it's quite a delightful video. I highly recommend you check it out. I'll give the link to it. But as even he pointed out, not as many people know about it, and he wanted to try to get the word out about this fun game from ancient Mesopotamia. And certainly, if you're looking for something to do because you're still trying to, deal with the ongoing pandemic, or just have a nice quiet evening at home with family, or your very close friends, this would be a great thing to do. And another way to look at it, as I know from the Kemetic perspective, is that, again, this was King Tut's other game. We know that he had game boards that could be adapted to it, so we know he had to have played it, and who knows, he might have been pretty good at it. I'm not sure I'd want to take any bets against him, but let's see how well we do when we try it ourselves. We are babes in the woods here because we have never played this game before. This is not Senet, this is the game of Ur, or the game of 20 squares. So we're starting with an unboxing. The Ur game board is a reproduction of a game board found in Mesopotamia's biblical city of Ur of the Chaldees. It is from this city, according to ancient scriptures, where God called Abraham.
Yo, Abraham!
Explorers were unable to locate the city until the 1920s, when Sir Leonard Woolley, leading a joint British Museum University of Pennsylvania expedition, and we've been to the UPenn's museum, by the way, unearthed this 5,000-year-old city, revealing an advanced pagan civilization and a hoard of treasures.
Believe it Or not.
Handcrafting the game board reproduction of the original display at the British Museum was difficult. Then it took Northwest Corner years to develop the Ur game for adults using strategy and a second game for children, a race game.
Notice literacy is nowhere mentioned.
Whatever. Both versions are for 2 players and are easy to learn yet challenging. The Ur game board is handcrafted from hardwood and will add excitement to your decor and joy to your leisure time. Here we
She
go.
flipped her lid. And now she's playing with the box.
Okay, I'm putting this box aside now because
It looks like a wooden version of the
the Senet.
Isn't this a map in Zelda?
No.
It actually is.
It is.
Like
For me,
this
it is.
one of the
It's a map in Zelda.
Anyway, it's actually very similar to the Senet board that I have. It's just this one is a lot newer, but and of course the board is configured a little differently. There's a sentence here about the tombs of royalty or priests who had been sacrificed to the gods. I think that's a bit of an embellishment.
Tombs of royalty and priests. Okay, royalty and priests typically don't get sacrificed to the god. That's why they're royalty or priests.
Yes, thank you. So each player has 6 playing pieces, either dark or light, plain on one side and marked with 5 dots on the reverse side. So that would be. So these pieces here. So there's another one, and so you have 6 of these for each of us. So okay, like start. Yeah. So there's actually more than 6. Each. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 11. Okay.
I guess I'll give you extra in case you're losing.
No.
No, I don't think so. I mean, this is not like IKEA. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the little die here. And the way the die work, okay, 1 marked tip, I guess up is 1 point. You might be noticing at this point, we're having a little trouble with these instructions. The object of the game is to place 4 of your playing pieces on 4 of the identical squares. As a matter of fact, if you buy this game, don't use the included instructions. They're worthless. Okay, I looked up Royal Game of Ur, on Wikipedia. This is also known as the Game of 20 Squares. Problem is, we go on Wikipedia, their description of the rules doesn't help us much either. Faces a player must move during that turn. Okay, so I guess what that means is if you have... So,
Well, where would we even start on the board? I'm sorry. Yeah, safe space. I don't know, and from the looks of what I saw in that thing, there seemed to be no rhyme or reason to the movement.
You know what? Originally, we were thinking this was going to be something really simple. Okay, we unbox the game, we read the rules, we start to play the game. Obviously, it's going to be a little more involved in that, so you're going to have to stay tuned till next video when we actually get to play.
We might have to watch a YouTube video on this.
We're going for ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going for ice cream. Screw this.
Closest 11.
Alright!
Let's go!
We'll figure this out off screen and we'll
Yes!
come back to you.
Yeah!
Night, folks! Come on, get in the car!
But in the meantime, if you want to see what we finally used to figure out the damn rules, go check out Tom Scott versus Irving Finkel, the Royal Game of Ur. Well, folks, you'll have to stay tuned for next episode to see when we actually play King Tut's other game. But trust us, it'll be worth it. And Darren and I end up doing a husband versus wife match, and that's going to be on Patreon as an exclusive. In the meantime, you can join our Patreon community and be the first to find out updates when we're working on new videos, when we're about to release things. You'll get to see posts and outtakes and fun things like that. If you've been wondering, I don't think anybody's been asking, but if you'd like a cool t-shirt like this one, you can go onto my Zazzle store, and you can find all sorts of things like that that you can have printed up. I think some of the things I've got it set to where you can personalize it. I'll have to go back and double check, but go check it out. Nobody does. Please go check out my Zazzle store. The link is in the description. And don't forget to tune in for our weekly broadcasts, Fridays at 8:30. That's Central Standard Time, PM. And we'll see you soon. So for the Kemetic How-To Guide, this is Sharon wishing you Senet. Enjoyed this video? Then be sure to hit like and subscribe to the Kemetic Independent channel. You can also buy my books on lulu.com and shop for pagan supplies in my Etsy store. Check the description for links. And special thanks to all my Patreon supporters. Join us for updates, outtakes, and exclusive videos only on Patreon.